Hi everyone, so as promised, this is the ultimate puppy story time update or thing. I wanted to get into better detail and probably tell y'all about my process because getting a puppy is not just a spur of the moment decision. It sounds very cliche, but it is really a 15-year commitment, so it really does change you as a person. And for you to prepare for such a big change and such a big commitment, I think you really need to sit down and really think about it. So I'm gonna go through how I went through everything, gonna spill all the tea, all the nitty-gritty details, and it's gonna be really long, so highly likely you'll see two videos. This will be just a story time, just a fun time, and just a quick peek on how Noodles is doing. And then the second part of the video will be stuff that I had to do on my first week back, major things to look out for, stuff that I had to learn on the go, the best tips I've ever received, what happened with him because recently he fell ill and he had to go to the vet. So if you're interested in all of that, that will be in the second video, which will come up on Sunday. Grab some tea, grab a snack, or if, I don't know, you're doing your makeup, I'm just talking. I will be sitting slightly off center so that I can show you quick videos here, stories, that sort of thing. So yeah, let me show y'all Noodles real quick. He's grown a lot bigger. He is finding ways to go down. He's being very naughty. Carla, what's that? Hey, puppy face. Calm. Okay, calm. Good boy. I do this to make sure that he doesn't freak out before I send him down for zoomies. But here's Noodles! Did you know that he had a white face? We did not know that. Someone actually commented after his grooming episode, he has a 小白脸. He is now at 11 weeks, so nearly 3 months, and he weighs about 2.15 kg. He's a chunky boy! Look at this chunky boy! Kola, look up! Yeah! Alright, now that you've seen him, let me move you in closer, because I ain't got nowhere to go. Okay, in order to start this story, I have to give you some context. Growing up, my parents never liked pets. I think it's because one of my cousins had a pet and I don't think they took very good care of it. We didn't meet that dog very often, so maybe it's just adverse to strangers, but it was quite ill-mannered. He actually bit my brother on his stomach when he was a toddler and he was quite traumatized. So needless to say, my parents have never really been attracted to the idea of getting a dog. I also had eczema growing up, so I think they also used the "you are sensitive to dust and probably pet's fur" kind of excuse. You know, there's a lot of work involved, so I never thought that I would realistically be someone to get a dog. After moving out, I also didn't consider it until my girlfriend asked me if I wanted to dog sit for her colleague's dog. Basically, long story short, the entire family was overseas, but they didn't send Noel. Right here. He's so cute! To dog boarding because my friend now, I guess, is home. But here's the thing, he wouldn't eat when she was at work and it was very stressful for him because I think he's a very people kind of dog. So she just asked around to see if anyone was okay or had someone available to just take care of him from morning to afternoon, 9 to 5 sort of thing. And I jumped at the chance because I was like, ooh, I get to have a dog, and I love walking dogs, I love petting dogs, I just, I love interacting with other people's dogs, and I was like, great, sign me up. And so I did that and I really fell in love with Noel. Noel is a toy poodle. He's very sociable, he's very funny, he's a very funny boy. And I found that it was surprisingly easy even though it was my first time taking care of a dog. And I was over kanjiong, I was over worried about everything, right? But it turns out that taking care of him was very easy and it came very naturally to me. And I enjoyed it a lot, and Noel enjoyed it a lot because he got really excited to see me, and he's just, yeah, I can tell that we have a bond, you know? We're close. So I was oh my god, I love this dog. And after finding out that the dog is not so difficult, obviously there's way more to it than just day dog sitting kind of thing. But I was you know what, maybe this is something that I can do. And toy poodles are hypoallergenic, so I was oh my god, great, they don't really shed a lot. And he did not pee on my carpet at all. He didn't even pee in the house because I took him for 5 walks a day, right? So he was oh my god, so he just pee downstairs. So I was this makes sense. If my dog can do this and I can just have fun with this dog, I want to do it. You know, I work freelance at home, it makes sense. I can be home, I can take care of the dog, and I can still get work done. And I would greatly enjoy a puppy's company. Why not? I also feel I am at the point where I'm earning enough money for myself and for a little extra, and I want to spend it on a dog. You know what I mean? I want to spend it on taking care of something cute. And also it's really difficult like missing someone else's dog and wanting to see the other person's dog all the time, because you know you have no say over like when they can bring him over and stuff like that. And so as much as I love Noel so much, I decided like maybe I should really consider like adopting a puppy, looking around for a puppy, that sort of thing. And I tried to look around for like my different options. So obviously the first one is buying from a pet store. People don't really like the idea of buying, even though it happens very, very often, because it's a little bit unethical, it's a little shady, you know, the breeding and the handling of like puppies can be unethical sometimes. And also just the fact that there's so many more to adopt. Like why would you buy and support an industry when you can adopt? So that's the other option, adopting. You can go to like a bunch of different dog shelters, SPCA being one of the biggest ones. There's also SOSD and stuff like that. There's also importing and all of that, but I won't go into that because those were not things that I considered. So these were the main two, okay? I looked at adopting, but before the new like adjustments of weight and everything, a lot of these were not HDB approved, and I specifically wanted a poodle because I like their temperament. I did a lot of research about them. I like that they're intelligent. I like that they're affectionate. I need a dog to show me that they love me lah. I'm sorry. Is it very much to ask? Because I'm like the kind that's very, very affectionate and I want to hang out with you all the time. So if my dog doesn't want to do the same, like yeah, so I was specifically very fixated on the idea of like a toy poodle, like a multi-poo. And I also wanted the experience of raising a dog up from like puppy stage, like really training it and like watching it grow. I think that's really, really fulfilling. And in a lot of adoption shelters, there are a lot of like senior dogs and like adult dogs. I really wanted a toy poodle puppy. So it was really difficult looking for specifically a toy poodle puppy in adoption shelters. Like it just doesn't really happen. So I looked towards pet stores, and my friend actually purchased her poodle like 5 years ago for 1.7k, and I was like, alright, like this can, you know, can. Plus everything else, she said that it added up to about 3k in total, like everything, like to get started, you know, his food and everything all combined, pee tray, blah, blah, blah. But when I started looking around other pet stores, they really range. Like the cheapest I could find was like maybe 2.3. There was some that were already selling like pretty old puppies, like 5-6 months, not very good looking, like a little bit weird looking. And the most expensive ones I think I saw were like 4.8, which to me is a little ridiculous. So I was like, ugh. Just because I feel like toy poodles are quite like a normal breed. I don't think they're particularly exotic and you can breed them in Singapore. So like 4.8 was just a bit much lah. So I was like, okay, maybe let's look for something in like the 2.8, 3.2 range. So I was looking, and the thing is, right, when I have an idea fixated in my brain, I'm like, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna find a puppy. I want to get as much information. I want to hear from people as much as I can. And so I kept bumping into like dog owners. So I guess I kept bringing it up and people would tell me they have dogs. I think a lot of people like can attest to that because I just keep on talking about how I want a fucking dog. They'll be like, you know, like these. They'll recommend me shelters. They'll also recommend me like pet stores. They're a little bit more ethical, that sort of thing. I ask them where they get their dogs, how much, that sort of thing. Like I don't mind asking, because like at the end of the day you do have to like sort of purchase a dog. Even for adoptions you have to pay adoption fees. So I just want to know, like going in, how much it would cost me, like what is a reasonable amount. And this, it's really fate. Honestly, fate. You know what? Fate. Because so in mid-Jan I went to Sentosa, and the thing is I saw a hell lot of puppies there, because you know when you're on the beach, when you walk by, like they're just like little puppies roaming, and I said hi to every single one that I saw. And the thing is, like if you approach nicely and you also acknowledge the owner and you like say hi and just tell them that their dog is very cute, like usually people don't mind. So I met this cute little girl multi-poo. She was so tiny, barely a year old, and I was talking to her parents. I was just like, hey, like this is such a cute dog, like is it a toy poodle? Looks like a toy poodle. Then they were like, no, it's a multi-poo. And I was like, oh my god, it's a multi-poo. And I was like, yo, where did you get her? Like, was it expensive? Like what do you think I should do? How do you potty train? That sort of thing. And I had already set my eyes on like this particular puppy, okay? But turns out the puppy was sold and they didn't hold it for me even though I was coming down for a viewing. So maybe fate is trying to tell me something, I don't know. So then the parent told me like, oh yeah, I got her from a pet store, but you know what? Don't bother. Go ask around your friends, ask your neighbors, see if there's anybody that's like doing backyard breeding. And then I was like, what do you mean? They're like at home breeders lah, like people just give birth, like you don't have to buy from a store, what? Then I was like, oh, But then, is it safe? Like, is it medically okay? Is it legal? And she's like, yeah, it's not illegal. Like, I mean, it happens sometimes, you know, like dogs just give birth and it's okay. Just important that you get them like microchipped and then you send them to the vet and everything lah. Then I was like, oh, how do you look? Are they just on carousel? And then she was like, yeah, all the time, girl, just go look. And I was like, oh my god, okay, thank you so much. She was like, you probably find them for a couple of hundred. It'll be way lower than what pet stores are charging. Another friend also told me to check out like farms themselves. So I was like, okay, like let's think about this. Before this entire COVID-19 thing was happening, I did book flights to New York. I didn't want to like leave a puppy alone or like at a dog boarding for a whole month, right? So I was honestly considering to get the puppy like in July when I come back, June, July. So I was like, okay, this information. And I tried to look, you know, is my hair like slowly falling apart? Oh my god, it totally is. Whatever lah. Oh my god. Alright, let me just take it out. Okay, so then after that, I went to Carousel and I checked. Don't have, no listings, obviously. Then I was like, what is going on? Maybe it's like a sporadic thing, you know? Maybe it's like a hot commodity. Maybe it's just very rare sort of thing. So I was like, no problem. I'll look again, and I'm not in a hurry until July. So here I am like doing my fun little research. Like I was just so excited by the idea that even though it was like January, I was already doing like preparations for it in July. And then 1 week later, so I don't know if y'all remember that how I got my apartment, how I moved out thing. When I'm like fixated on an idea, like I want a house, I will go like window shopping for houses, and that's what I did on Carousel. And then I found this place, and then I moved like a year and a half in advance. Would you believe it if I told you that the same thing happened? I found a listing on Carousel. Like in a week, I maybe logged in thrice and I just typed in puppies, and I always saw like puppy accessories and stuff like that. But the third time that I went on it and I clicked puppies, there was a really cute photo of 3 puppies and it said poodle puppies for sale. And then I was like, I'm sorry? What? Is this real? The listing had only been up for 5 hours. I texted the person, I was like, yo, is this for real? Like, is this real? She directed me to a husband who explained better about like the puppies. So they're mini poodle puppies. If you're wondering, it's like toy, mini, and then standard. So mini is in the middle, slightly bigger than toy poodles, but they apparently have like better health in general because they got like bigger organs to support them, and they're not that much bigger. So I was like, it's fine, cool. And then I saw like individual puppy photos, and there were 3 of them, and it was like 2 girls, 1 boy. I think it's because I'm just very influenced by Noel. Like I want a Noel for myself, and Noel is a very cute boy, right? So I was like, I want a boy. But I was gonna give like all 3 puppies like some alone time, and I was like, okay, how to choose a puppy, and you know, you gotta have a personal connection, they gotta feel safe and comfortable with you, all of that. So after like a short conversation, I asked about everything that was happening, and I asked like, what is going on? They invited me to go over to view the puppies, and I'm gonna give y'all some context. So the sellers, they are husband and wife. They have 2 kids like around my age, slightly younger. So I'm just gonna call them very affectionately like uncle and auntie. That's Noodles, don't mind him. So uncle and auntie have 2 mini poodles. This little boy called Barry and this girl called Luna. So they were on holiday and they sent both of their dogs to dog boarding, and as you would know it, the girl was in heat and they were placed together. So Luna's only 2, so she's pretty young still. Barry is I think 5. And so when they went to the vet to try and get both of them neutered and spayed, like when they got back from the holiday, the vet was like, too late lah, she's pregnant. They were like a love child kind of situation, and the dad and mom like still live together. Here they are cuddling. They are very, very cute. And I really like the fact that the puppies were not bred on purpose, like for sale sort of thing. Being in their house, like I saw the conditions, everything was great, everything was clean, and like the parents really took very good care of the puppies. I cannot stress like how important it is to do your research, because with every single method of obtaining a puppy, whether it's by adopting, by buying it from a pet store, or from looking, you know, asking your friends, picking up someone's litter, it's really, really important to check out their intentions, to check out how they raise these puppies, to have some kind of transparency, to be able to see their parents as well. If they don't show you their parents, there's something really shady going on, you know, that sort of thing. Like bringing them to the vet like while they get their first vaccination, or like after like a week of being in your house, is also very important. And also to look out for like behavioral red flags or scams. I was very lucky to find a very wholesome, loving family for my puppy to come from, but there are scams out there. You must be careful. There are like not so good breeders out there, so just really make sure that you know what to look out for. This is something that I'll go into a little bit deeper in my next video, but yeah, one of the red flags I think is quite important, that's what I just say now. Luna was like very loving towards her puppies, like very protective also, and she seemed to like me a lot, so I was like, great. And we just had some time like playing around with the puppies, like checking all of them out, and the little boy was the smallest. They gave them like cute little nicknames so that they can identify each puppy, but they wouldn't get too attached to it, you know. And so Noodles was called Boy Boy because he's the only boy, and I picked him up and like I was like, oh my god, this boy is so freaking cute. At first he was a little bit nervous, but he initially settled down, and for some reason like the other two, I just felt like one was a little naughty, and then the other one like just didn't give a damn about me, like just didn't pay attention to me, even though like she was really pretty. Because I was also the first person to contact them, they scheduled me first and I got free pick from all of them, and I decided to go with Boy Boy. Boy Boy seems to respond to me pretty okay. He seems to also be the calmest, so I didn't want a dog that was too high energy or too rah-rah, and I really liked how calm Boy Boy was, and he was so small. He was the youngest out of the lot, so I think he might be the runt. He was just so tiny, and like they were talking about how he doesn't really have much of an appetite, he eats very little, so it's very tiny, and I was like, oh, this boy, I'ma fatten you up. He's so freaking cute. And they also said like usually with boy toy poodles, they tend to like have a very strong bond with you, and I was like, that's what I want tight bonds. Okay, when I went over there, I already sort of knew that highly likely I would go back with a puppy. It was already in the midst of COVID-19, like the early signs, which everyone was sort of panicking about. I think it was maybe like 3 or 4 days before the dogs gone orange, and so I like didn't want to leave the house at all, but I went out for the puppies anyway, and I'm so glad because like that was it. That was like one of the most important days of my life. So I told auntie and uncle, I was like, okay, like I'm gonna get Boy Boy, please save Boy Boy for me. I'm just gonna go and get some stuff. I'll be back in like a week, because I just assumed that like, you know, delivery would take a week. They're like, well, we'll hold on to Boy Boy for you, like don't worry. And I was like, okay, good. So I bought a bunch of stuff like in retail stores, and then I also ordered a bunch of stuff because online shops can be a little bit cheaper, sometimes a lot cheaper. I bought all of the essential things that he needed, like his water and food bowl. I already ordered the bed, so that was coming in. In the meantime, I used towels, and the pee tray was also coming in, but he was very used to just peeing in the cage, like where his siblings did it also, so I thought that was okay. So that's why you see on the first day of the vlog, we just have the crate, and it's just like an open crate. Uncle specifically had been sending me like videos and photos of him being like, he's looking cute, and I told them, I was like, I'm gonna call him Noodles, and then they were like, oh my god, that's so cute, Noodle. And then we went to the mall to like eat, like it was nearby a mall, right, their place, and then like we were like laughing at this signboard Noodle, then we're like ha ha ha, like me and my girlfriend, and then we walked away and we went around to buy like stuff in the pet store, and then just nice, auntie and uncle also went to the mall to eat lunch, and they also took a photo of the Noodle store, and they were like, Noodle, and I was like, oh my god. Like it just felt so great to know that my puppy is coming from like a loving family, and to know that like they weren't bred like for sale kind of thing, like it's coming from a very wholesome place, and they really like took care of the doggo. It was awesome. It was really fantastic. Like they were so nice, and I was really excited. I wanted to cry like by the time I was like gonna leave the house, just because like I was like, I can't believe it, you know, like it's like crazy, but I had to like hold it in. But then after that, I got to the bus stop and then I cried. So okay, so I chose him on Wednesday, right? Wednesday night, I got the news that Hazel, the other like pretty one that didn't pay me any attention puppy, had been taken. And then Thursday morning, the naughty girl had been chosen. So out of 3 appointments, all of us took one. And then Thursday night, I'm here like at home, like buying already like treats and like toys online, and I'm like waiting for these things to show up, right? This was maybe like 30th Jan already. For 5 days, everything in advance had been cancelled, everything for the next month. I had absolutely nothing to do, and I was like, why am I here being so excited about my dog, but I'm not picking him up for another week and just waiting for things to arrive. Like, this is ridiculous. I'm just gonna go down and buy them. So I texted auntie and uncle. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna come tomorrow morning, like Friday morning, I'm gonna come and pick him up because I'm just so excited. Like, I don't want to spend another moment apart. Like, I want to be there with him as he grows. I can start training earlier, I can get him used to the space. Also, you can start vaccinations as soon as possible because they need to be in your home for like a week to adjust to all of your settings and your environment, like before you get vaccination. So I coordinated with the lady who was gonna sell me the crate. So I was gonna do this morning from my house, pick up the crate, pick up the dog, and then have my dad drive me all the way back to my place. So I was holding the dog, I put him in a little tray, in a little grey tray that he's too big for now. Oh my god, I can literally show you, wait. So I put him in this little tray, I put little towels here, but he sort of like was falling out of it because the towels are pretty thick. So I just like held him like this and he just sat and he didn't make a sound, he didn't cry, he didn't whine, he didn't fret, he didn't jump. And I was like, this is such a calm boy, this is such a good boy. So that's why I called him Good Boy Noodles on his Instagram. And then we reached home, my dad was helping me with the crate, my girlfriend had opened the door and like we picked everything up, and so she was helping me set up, and I finally put him in the cage and he was so scared and he was so shy. And you've already seen this part, it's the vlog. If you haven't seen it, I'll like put it up here. But that was, you know, our first day. Oh my god, I've been saying the story so fast that it didn't even occur to me that this is the end of part 1. It's just like a crazy roller coaster, and that is why I really firmly believe in the idea of like projecting your desires and what you want into the universe, because I feel like you will attract the right kind of energy and you will attract conversations and people who can help you achieve your goal. So actually, when I was gonna pick up the puppy and I had told everybody on my Instagram like, hey, I'm gonna pick up my puppy tomorrow, so excited, my girlfriend was actually like, hey, like, are you sure you want to talk about it now? Just because like it's like a superstition thing, like you don't want to talk about something until it's actually happened. Like with pregnancy and stuff like that, you know, you don't want to say anything because the risk of something going wrong or like, you know, going back on it is like pretty high. Then I was like, what? No, I'm just like, I project it into the world and I just like, I'm gonna make it happen. So when she said it, I was like a bit worried because I was like, oh my god, are they gonna what? Like, but they've been sending me like photos every night and that sort of thing. So it turns out, as I am now beginning to find out, he's not actually like a shy, quiet boy. He's just an introvert. He takes a while to like warm up to people, but once he does, he gets really, really hyper. He's very playful and he's very funny. I still think he's a good boy. I still think he's very cute, and yeah, I just like, I'm very, very happy. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed that story. I don't know if it's just a bunch of rambling or not. It's just, you know, telling y'all how I found my dog. So if you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and also subscribe to the channel. I make new videos every Wednesday/Sunday, sometimes both. So don't forget to also turn on your notifications so you'll be notified when I make a new video. And yeah, stay tuned for part 2. Bye!